how Vivek talked about his privilege.
Yes, that is a privilege.
And this is what the conservatives are talking about. They're talking about families. We're talking about two-parent households. He said where God is the focus. We're talking about this, but they're not talking about this on the left. Prime point, Mayor Brandon Scott. So he announces he's got a baby on the way. He's not married. Our Mayor Brandon Scott announced this week that he is having a baby. He has a baby.
Oh my God!
Someone, local woman here, local woman here. He is not married. He is not married to her. Well, she may be married. Allegedly, she's married to someone else. But anyway, I want to juxtapose this next to Vivek Ramaswamy, who was recently at the Blaze TV Summit, and he talked about what his privilege is in America. Take a look. This is the clip.
My parents came to this country with almost no money. I've gone on to found multi-billion-dollar companies. And then people tell me, oh, that's because you had privilege. They tell me white privilege. It's sort of weird. It's sort of an interesting, it's kind of interesting.
Do you tell them?
I say, take the blindfold off, and now you have your answer. But the interesting answer is, actually what I do tell them, Tucker, is that I did have privilege. I didn't grow up in money, but I had two parents in the house, a mother and a father, with a focus on education and a faith in God. And you know what? That is the ultimate privilege. That if I'm going to enjoy that, every kid in this country ought to enjoy it too.
What should be the role of race and privilege in this election?
I mean, I think Vivek hit the nail on the head. And the way I say it often is that the most privileged people in this country are children being raised by two married biological parents in a loving, low-conflict home. Point blank, period. Across gender, sex, race, religion. I think that should be the foundation of all conservative social policy. So, and when you combine that with, the notion that men particularly are responsible for the children that we create. I mean, Tucker didn't really touch on abortion that much with Vivek, but again, this is one of the issues that comes up, right? So much.
You saw how Vivek talked about his privilege.
Yes, that is a privilege.
And this is, again, Vivek Ramaswamy. He's running for as president for the Republican side. And this is what the conservatives are talking about. They're talking about families. We're talking about two-parent households. He said where God is the focus. We're talking about this, but they're not talking about this on the left. Prime point, Mayor Brandon Scott. So he announces he's got a baby on the way. He's not married. He isn't married, this woman. But this falls in line with their push on gender ideology, sexualization, independent woman. This is what they push.
Right.
And this is why our communities are failing.
Yep. Well, he's a Marxist, obviously. So, I mean, that is something that
I can't.
Been teaching that there's no need for a family. So he's actually, I believe he thinks he is morally right, that this is the way. If this woman is actually married to someone else, like that is even better from their perspective, because now they can all raise this baby together. This baby doesn't really belong to anybody. And so I feel sorry for this child.
I'm excited that he actually, well, I mean, we all thought he was gay, so I mean, he didn't have anyone. So this could be a beard baby and a beard woman.
Oh my God!
To cover up, but I can't say
all in one.
So this is why I said I called it Hannah's baby, Brandon's maybe. Because we don't know yet. I mean, I guess we might not ever know. If he's claiming the baby is his, fine.
Michael Jackson, baby.
If he's claiming the baby is his, fine. That's good. The baby will have a father. But I said, and I what do you call it? I messaged him on his Facebook page and asked him, babies are good. That's a good thing. But are you going to marry this woman, or are you going to contribute to the 70% out of birth wedlock baby birth rate for Black people?
Oh, I'm sure he didn't answer. He never answers questions.
Right.
So,
but it's an honest question. Yeah. And this is what we're seeing in our community.
They don't care though.
And this is what people are supposed to look up to.
Right.
Like, so he's the Democrat leader, the leader of Baltimore. So Baltimore is already failing to begin with, and
Right.
now this, and like this is normal for them. So they would never fight for family if this is what they're doing.
Well, they call this. I mean, he would call this. I'm guessing he probably called this as his family, right? It's a child. That's his family. His whatever son or daughter, whoever's going to be. But the thing is that he is promoting this, like you said, as the mayor. Look at our city now. What do we have? Most of the criminals are fatherless, right? They don't have any training from home. They don't have the education that they need. This sets them up. Most of the people in prison, the black people, 70% or more of them have no fathers or did not have contact with their fathers. So he is adding to this, and he's promoting it as if it's something good. Again, another part where the subculture for black people is becoming the culture.
Absolutely.
Well, their key word is reimagine. So he's reimagining a family structure, which can look like practically anything at this point.
Right,
Could be a dog. A dog can be your mother.
But it used to be a subculture, as you mentioned. The culture used to be mom and dad, raising a family, get married. Then once you get married, mom and dad have a baby, and you raise a family. And now we're seeing this subculture of this single mom's baby mama become the culture.
Right. And I remember, I don't know if this was some video we watched at some point, because there was a black person, a man, who someone asked him about this, the traditional culture, having a wife and kids. And he said, oh no, this was about gender roles.
Right,
yeah, it was
right.
about gender roles. And he was like, I'm not white to have gender roles.
Right.
How is this a white
Right.
idea?
That's another thing that's pushed on the left. So they push this narrative that this type of family, mom, dad,
The nuclear family,
married, is a white thing. Is call it
White supremacy.
White supremacy.
Yeah.
This is white supremacy.
It was in the Smithsonian during the BLM riots. They talked about this. They promoted this. But this also, Brandon Scott, in a way, reminded me talking about celebrities in this culture. Nick Cannon, I don't know how many children he has. But again, this is something that's looked at and lauded, right? Yes, the babies are good things in and of themselves. But to promote this as the norm, and it's just not, it's the base part of our culture. Again, the subculture is becoming the culture.
And I gotta say it again. I know you guys don't like for me to talk about faith-based stuff, but to me, it's a slap in the face for faith-based community. You have a large, so-called people, church people, faith-based community that continue to vote for these leftists. And you see here, Vivek Ramaswamy is supporting a family, being married, having your kids and things like that, which is supposed to be biblical marriage. And most of the black church votes Democrat, which is anti-biblical marriage, anti-family.
And they also have a lot of gay pastors up there too.
So. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So it just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense.
They use the whole thing, God is love and love is love, under that to make excuses for this.
It's a distortion.
And so
Yeah,
it's manipulative as well.
Right.
Because now they're trying to make everyone else seem like, oh, this is the way it should be, because we're just here to love each other, because God wants us to love each other. But God also said it's abomination. There are
and
abominations
God
as well.
said, and if for Christians, Jesus said, do not sin. Like when they brought a sinner to him, he said, go and sin no more. He didn't say continue sinning.
Right, and that's the big issue that I have. It's just like, yes, people make mistakes. Yes, it's, no family is perfect.
Right.
But to actually, again, make this the culture and canonize this within our community as something to be applauded, and it's not right. It's not right. So again, just wanted to kind of compare those. If we do have any Democrats or any liberals watching, think about that. Yeah, think about that. Share this portion of the broadcast with your, I would say, faith-based liberal friends, because we have here on the conservative side candidates that are pushing family, pushing mom and dads in the home, we're supporting it, and the left is not, and you continue to vote for them. So I don't understand it.